Hello, hello, and welcome to In Touch with Durham County, the show designed to provide you with information about Durham County government programs, people, and services. I'm your host, Deborah Craig Ray. We're pleased to bring you another exciting show today. Dr. Mike Lee, Chair of the Board of County Commissioners, is our first guest today. Dr. Lee was elected in 2024 and previously served as vice chair. He was chosen to chair the board in December 2025. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited about being here, Deborah.
I'm excited to have you as well because I know how busy you are and how much responsibility you have.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely great to be here.
Great, great. In our second segment, we will meet our new Durham County Memorial Stadium manager, Jamal White. Mr. White has hit the ground running in his first few months as he has already managed some major stadium events. So we'll have another good conversation. Dr. Lee, for those who do not know you, we've got viewers who are moving into Durham all the time. Tell us a little bit about your background. Where did you grow up? And, how long have you lived in Durham?
Well, I don't say that I have a home. My dad was in the Air Force. And so we moved around every 4 years or so.
Military brat.
Military brat, absolutely. And I wear that badge greatly.
Absolutely.
And so we moved all around the United States every 4 years, like I said. But my family settled, and my dad retired and he settled in Huntsville, Alabama. That's where I went to undergraduate school at Alabama A&M University. And I actually graduated from there and I moved here in 1997. So Durham feels like home to me because this is the longest I've ever lived in one place. So that's what I call home. And I've decided to plant my roots here. My children have 3 children. I have an 18-year-old and twin 14-year-olds. And my wife and I, we've been married about 20 years. In April, it'll be 20 years.
Nice, nice. Well, prior to being elected to the Board of Commissioners, you were our former school board member. You were vice chair and then chair for a good while. And, what led you originally to run for an elective office?
Well, in 2014, my oldest son, he was born in 2007. And generally, before you have children in the school system, you don't really pay much attention. That's just kind of the way it works.
That's fair.
And so when my son started school, I started paying a little bit more attention to the school board. And I just felt, with my background in technology and finance and business at that time, I thought that I could contribute to the school board in a way that I could help make decisions and create a school district that I want my children to grow up in. And so I decided to run, and I won my election in 2014, served as vice chair, and then I was chair for 4 years.
Yeah.
And then vice chair again, and then I decided not to run again to finish my doctorate, actually, in 2022.
Now, I know you had that time, and then you, as you said, you took a break to finish your doctorate, which was fantastic. But what sparked you to come back to an elective office, and why were you particularly interested in the Board of Commissioners?
Well, I had served the 8 years on the Board of Education. And like I mentioned, I decided not to run again and finish my doctorate, and I finished it. And I was going to be done. I'd served my community, I had given back. But I started getting phone calls from previous elected officials, current elected officials, saying they felt my leadership style and my experience would really be beneficial on a larger level than the school board, and that would be the county commission. That's kind of the next step. And so I ignored it for a little bit and talked to my wife about it, talked to my kids. And after so many calls, I started asking my wife, when does it become a sign that I should really take a look at it? And we sat down, we went to lunch, we talked about the ins and outs, what would be. And she said, look, Mike, if you want to do that, I support you 100%. And that's all I needed to hear. If my wife would support me, I can do anything. That's what I feel.
Absolutely.
And so she said she supported me, and I decided to run, and here I am.
Here
now I'm
you
chairman.
are. Here you are. So you've served just a little over a year as a commissioner now. And what would you say are some of the differences between the two responsibilities?
That's a really good question, and I get that question all the time. Um, the the county commission is not as intense as a school system. And I'll start out by saying this. I believe that is the case because as a county commissioner, we really deal with the finances of the county. So, and that has to do a lot with taxes. And so I can, if we raise someone's taxes, they'll be upset, but they'll kind of, it's an understanding that's going to happen, and they kind of get over it, and they kind of move forward and continue to pay taxes and so forth. But on the school board, when you make decisions for someone's child that they disagree with, you don't get past that. It is a different type of anger. It's a different type of uncomfortableness. And so as a school board member, you have to work towards that. You have to work through that. You have to, work with individual parents of individual children instead of a larger audience. Now, the decisions that you make on a school board are for 32 or so thousand children. That's right. And it may not be in the best interest of your own children, but it's for the best interest for the county or for the district itself. But it is really difficult for a parent to want something for their child and not get that versus something dealing with like taxes or different functions of the county. So it's a little less intense as a school board, but it's just as important.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I know that you've kind of mentioned that your background is business and software, and I know you've served as a full-time executive for a local company.
That's correct.
And I know it's very demanding. I've seen you, jump into meetings and have to leave early and that kind of thing, which is to be expected. But what many people may not know is you drive a school bus.
I do.
Well, how did that happen, and how do you find time for that?
Well, I'll start by saying driving a school bus in the mornings is probably the best part of my day. I started, so I would coach. I was coaching soccer at Lucas Middle School, part of Durham Public Schools, and we would have problems finding someone to drive the bus for the athletes to get to the games. And so I decided I'm going to get my CDL license so I could drive as well as coach because I'm going to the games anyway. Right. Why not? Right. And I started doing that. And it eventually led to me driving for Northern High School as well. Well, there's always a school bus driver shortage. And that is nationwide, and especially here in Durham. I said, well, why can't I drive a school bus in the mornings? I get up and I work out in the mornings anyway. And so I reached out to DPS, and they said, we'll apply, and we'll get you moving. And they did, and I have a route that starts at about 6:15, and I end about 8:30.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's an elementary school route and then a combined middle school route. But it is so great. I give the kids pounds as they come on the bus. And it's a big smile. It's a smile that they get because I'm the first person that they see coming on, going to school, right? And I believe if I can get a smile out of them as they get on the bus, there's a really good chance they can have a really good day. So I'll compliment their sweaters and their hats. There was one girl, she had got new glasses. So I said, oh, I love those glasses. And the big smile that she had, I just felt like it may have led through the day. So a good day. So it's excellent. And it came around that I really wanted to help with the bus driver shortage, but I think it helps me a little more than it helps the kids or the district.
Well, certainly. It's a win-win for both of you all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, all of you. Well, what are some of your priorities for the county this year, if you don't mind?
Well, my priorities are a little different than you may hear from other commissioners or other elected officials. As a technology executive, it's really important that we have our processes and programs, running efficiently.
Yes.
And I kind of bring that from the private sector into the public sector in a way where measurement is very important to me. And if you look at any of the meetings around the budget processes, I always ask whoever's coming to present, what did you expect to accomplish
Yeah.
this time last year? And did you accomplish that? And it's okay if you didn't, but let me know what you plan to do to accomplish it for the next year. And I did that because I wanted to set a process or a culture of measurement. I want us to set goals, and I want us to see how we can achieve those goals. And if we can't achieve those goals, let us develop a process to help you achieve those. For example, if we have these nonprofits or these other programs that we fund into discretionary spending, I want us to be able to measure, are you being effective? And if you're not, let's go a different direction. Let's try a different direction. I don't mind failure. As a technology executive, that's part of our job, to fail fast and go in a different direction. But I want to make sure that if something happens to fail, if a program happens to fail, are we doing what we can to help it succeed? And if we are and it's still not working, let's try something else to accomplish that goal. One example of that is the violence reduction. Oh, yes. Right. We have this new program that we're working with the city at the University of Maryland. Right. It's a different program. Now we have Bull City United. That it didn't work out, and that's okay. Let's go in a different direction. Let's try something different. And the reason I like this program that we're working with the city with, it is because it's not only experts who are writing books and saying this is how you do it. This program comes in and actually works with local people, with lived experience, people in those areas who understand violence here in Durham, because Durham is unique. Although the problem is universal, kind of across the state and across the nation, the issues in Durham may be slightly different from other places. And so we bring this program in and we try this and we give it our full force, and it works great. But if not, we can do some tweaks, and then if that doesn't work, let's go in a different direction. So my goals for Durham County, or my priorities, are really about efficient use of taxpayer money, good stewardship. Yes. And then let's measure these programs. If they're not working, let's do something else with the taxpayer money so that we're actually getting these things accomplished.
I like it. It's setting a new culture.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I hope to do as a chair, is make us go in a different direction, lean more on measurement.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you were voted in as chair in December, and you said, it's just the title. I am still just the commissioner. I am still just Mike Lee. What did you mean when you said that?
Well, one of the things I noticed in being on the school board and now as county commissioner, sometimes people kind of place elected officials in a different atmosphere, a different stratosphere, if you will. And I'm just a dad. I have 3 kids. My kids don't look at me as Commissioner Mike Lee or Dr. Mike Lee. They just look at me as dad. Right. And say, I need this, I need that. And I think that's what's important here in Durham. Durham is very unique in that elected officials are very approachable and reachable. And once we become a place or individuals where we're seeing people at a distance, like, oh no, don't come over here, Durham ceases to be Durham. And I want people to know I have titles behind my name. I worked hard for those titles, but I'm still just Mike. I'm still just Mike to my friends. I'm still just Mike to people who vote for me, because I want people to understand, if you see me in the grocery store, you could come speak. Yeah. I'm not going to shun you. You could come say, hey, I have an issue with this. I have an issue with that. I did that on the school board as well. Hey, you didn't like when I changed the school times, when I voted to change the school times for high schools and elementary schools. I'm okay with those conversations. I want to be approachable. And I don't want my titles or my position or my chair to keep people from reaching out to me or talking to me in just an open manner.
Absolutely. Well, I can't believe our time has just run so quickly.
Oh my God, it has?
Yeah. But if there is one thing you want to leave with our viewers, what would it be?
I would say Durham is a place where great things can happen. We have a long way to go. And I would say don't give up on Durham. You know, like I mentioned, I want us to try programs and continue to change and continue to grow. I want to build a place that my kids, when they go to school, go to college, they come back and live and raise a family. That's exactly what I want for their children as well. So don't give up on Durham. Keep pushing us. Keep giving us your ideas, because we're going to get there eventually.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for this great conversation. And we're going to have you back on.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to speak with Durham County Memorial Stadium manager, Jamal White. We'll see you on the other side of these announcements. Stay tuned.
Hey, boss. Okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
You sure?
I said I'm fine.
Since I was little, it was only like me and my parents.
You think you created family out of characters?
Yeah, of course.
I'm gonna take that and make it into a song.
Put me to bed, see you in the morning. With the frosted Superman, but it wasn't on it. And we lost it. In my head, in my head, in my head. Where you at, where you at on the way out? In my head, in my head, in my head.
Hey, son.
Hey, Pop.
You can talk to me.
It's been really, really hard for me.
Welcome back to In Touch. It is my pleasure to welcome to the show the manager of our Durham County Memorial Stadium, Jamal White. Hi, Jamal.
How you doing?
Good to have you with us.
Good to have me. Thank you.
All right. Now, I know you joined Durham County just a few months ago. I think it was maybe last fall.
Yep. November 10th was my start date.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, just towards the end of the year. So I want our audience to learn a little bit more about you. So tell us a little bit about where you're from, where'd you grow up, where'd you go to school?
Yeah. So I'm from New York, Upper West Side of Manhattan. Been living in Durham now almost 7 years. I went to the University of Bridgeport in Bridgeport, Connecticut, where I got my bachelor's degree in business management. Got my master's from Manhattanville College. That's in Purchase, New York, right outside of White Plains. I got my master's in sports management from there. And then, I'm a big sports guy. I think more or less of kind of why I'm in the field I'm in right now. So.
Yeah. So, where did you work prior to coming to Durham County?
Yeah, so I was at Duke University. I was at Duke for almost 6 years. I was the Senior Associate Director of Facilities and Projects, very long title.
Oh my God, that's a big job.
Big job, but came in, started at Duke in 2019 as the Coordinator of Game Day Operations, and then worked my way up to Senior Associate Director. I was, before leaving Duke to come to the county, I was our facilities manager for all of our football spaces. So football stadium, football team, a lot of logistics. So that's kind of what I was doing before.
Yeah. So what first interested you in sports management?
So in undergrad, I was a three-sport athlete in college. I played baseball, basketball. I ran cross country for 2 years. So like sports was literally my life.
Yes.
I enjoyed it. I did want to go into coaching at one point, and then made a transition and felt that working more on the administrative side and in college athletics would kind of give me more of a better directory to like growing, and where coaching college basketball is like you're very limited to the amount of schools, and where with working in administration you have Division I, you have Division II, Division III, junior college, all different avenues. So I felt that it'd be better for me to kind of go in more on the administrative side.
Awesome. That's fantastic. So, help our audience understand sort of the operations of our Memorial Stadium. Exactly what goes on out there.
Yeah, so as you alluded to, I just started a couple of months ago, so still learning the lay of the land. But from what I have put together, obviously from just going through my interview process, the stadium is an opportunity to build relationships with the community, the opportunity to have different events from a big sporting event, a championship, or having a community event of some sort with like a church or an organization. So I think the stadium is kind of built to be able to fit all different types of channels, all different types of people, big or small. And I'm here just to kind of, bridge that gap and kind of bring in, as much events and much things that we can to the stadium.
Yeah, so since you've been there, have you managed any football championships or anything? I guess this is the right season, right?
Yeah. So right when I started in November, we had a CIAA championship at the stadium. We also have had high school state championship. So we had two classes. Second week of December, so we had two football championships there. So those are two big events that we had going on in the stadium since I've been hired.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Right timing and everything. I know people really love that. So how many employees are there out at the stadium, and what are some of the jobs that they perform?
So currently out in the stadium, it's myself and my coordinator of events. So we kind of work hand in hand together to kind of getting prepared for different events, paperwork wise with contracts, different walkthroughs, different meetings. I also have a gentleman that works with me as well that kind of handles all of our contracts. So when somebody reaches out about renting the stadium, there's a process that goes from start to finish. And he kind of leads that for me with like putting our contracts together, but he also manages a lot of our conference rooms and different things within like the administrative buildings down here, downtown as well too.
Right. Very good. Very good. So what would you say is the most interesting sporting event you've had to manage?
I have so many. I would say the most interesting one that I've done would be NCAA fencing at Duke. And the reason why I say that, you don't really understand. Some people are like, oh, what is fencing? Right?
Well, I fenced.
So some people are like,
100 years ago, but I did.
So some people are like, oh, what is fencing? But don't really understand like how it all kind of puts together, like laying down the strips, putting all the different anchoring for scoring and different things like that. So it's very unique to be able. And then for me, I've never, coming to Duke, I've never seen a fencing meet before. So it was like an eye opening for me to be able to be a part of that, and also seeing on the biggest stage of like hosting that for like a championship, championship trophies and different things like that. So,
yeah. That's exciting. Yeah, that's a memory. So what are your goals for the stadium this year? Some of your goals anyway.
So I think for me, two things. Obviously continue just to learn as much as I can about the stadium, the people, the different vendors that come in and out of the stadium, but also just to kind of build relationships. I really think when it comes to my personality, I'm a type of person that kind of builds relationships with whoever I'm working with or working for. So I feel like the nature of my job is to build that camaraderie, that connection with Durham, with the school system, with different vendors. Because I think that's the way for us to be able to people understand what we can offer at the stadium, but also can show that we understand and knowing what you're looking for, being respectful, being understanding, being willing to help. So I think those are kind of like my goals, just trying to build as best of a relationship with Durham as I can.
So, and I understand there is a stadium authority that you work with as well.
Correct.
Talk about that.
So we have a stadium authority board that that manage or oversees the stadium as a whole. So I work with those individuals to kind of building new policies, building new relationships with them, as obviously with me being the new stadium manager, but also just like I said, trying to build as much as we can to make the stadium as best as it can be.
So, what are some of the events that might be coming, say, this spring?
Yeah, so we're looking to have a couple of high school championships. So we'll have track and field, hopefully in May. We'll also have lacrosse championships in May as well too. We'll also have a lot of track meets from a lot of different schools within the area. So a lot of middle school track meets, different things like that. We'll also have a flag football championship. Women's flag football championship in April.
Oh, wow.
Conference Carolina will have a championship second week in April. So that would be from Friday to Sunday, a big championship for us to obviously bringing people from Durham for that.
So, do you interact with some of the other sports officials in the area? Do you also have a little network?
A little bit. Still, like I said, still trying to learn as much as I can and learn and meet people as much as I can. But I definitely, within my two months that I've been here, I've been welcomed with open arms with the county, with people that I work with, but also just the different vendors that also as well, and people just willing to help, give me some insight, able to give me some information and some things that may help moving forward to help me along the way. So yeah.
Yeah, and I know you've only been here for just a couple of months, but just kind of looking ahead, if we could write a good sized check, are there some things you'd like to improve at the stadium?
I think you always can improve in anything, big, small. I think, not saying that the stadium doesn't need improvement like I said, but I think just building that connection, building the awareness in the city of Durham, in the county, that the stadium is here. It's here to be able to be used, to be utilized, because I think that's where the big thing, what's important. Bringing people in, people to see what the stadium is, what is it about, what we have to offer. So I would say, as much as a blank check to be able to, oh yeah, I want to build a new locker room, but I think building that relationship and building that connection with the county and with everybody, I think is a little bit more important than the look of it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, relationships are very important. So, how can people get in touch with you or with the stadium to get more information?
Yeah, so you can email me to my email address. It's jamalwhite at dconc.gov. We also have a county stadium website that you can go on as well to be able to put in requests or just to see what we have going on at the stadium.
Sounds good. Well, again, we'd like to thank you for taking the job,
I appreciate
coming
it.
over, because we're looking forward to exciting things with you as the leader.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, and please thank your team for all they do for us as well.
I will. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, we want to thank you for joining us, and be sure to follow us on all of our social media channels. We'll see you next time on In Touch with Durham County. Cheers.